fake life and having these fake beliefs. And
Joe Rogan admits straight men are the real danger to women, then blames trans women anyway. There is a revealing moment in a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience when the conversation briefly brushes against empathy before veering back into familiar anti-trans rhetoric. Cisgender men, not transgender women, are the real danger to all women, the conservative podcaster said.
Reporter. That's what I'm saying. Like, but what did that?
what is it? What is like?
So
I don't even want.
No matter what he did, take the call.
On Wednesday's episode, Steve-O, the comedian and stunt performer whose public persona has long depended on doing things other people would never dare, was recounting an interaction that had shaken him out of a joke. He had been considering getting breast implants as part of a bit for his act, he said, when a chance conversation with a transgender cashier in Los Angeles caused him to stop and think. He asked whether the stunt might be offensive.
it's a good thing.
Yes.
And I think a lot of guys.
Reporter said something, and Mike started talking about if we were in.
Stand up for himself. Does 4chan write this?
The answer, as he told it, was not an abstract lecture, but a description of ordinary indignities and exclusions. It was a story about what happens when someone hears another person's pain and lets it complicate their own assumptions. On a different show, or in a different media culture, that might have been the point. Quote, "They described to me a level of oppression that genuinely fucking broke my heart," Steve-O said. Trying to recall the conversation, Steve-O said the worker told him how some trans people were not even allowed to use the bathroom at their workplace because of politics.
Who's the reporter? That's what I'm saying. Like, but what did that?
What is it? What is like?
So
I don't even want.
No matter what he did, take the.
Rogan immediately pushed back, insisting that the claim was inaccurate and arguing the issue was simply that transgender people were not allowed to use restrooms that did not align with their biological sex. But Rogan, whose podcast is among the most influential platforms in the country, which has become a central platform in the online ecosystem of male grievance politics, quickly redirected the exchange into something more familiar, a circular argument in which he intermittently sounded compassionate, even reasonable.
Himself. Does 4chan write this?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that same monster, they don't run fast.
Only to negate that posture almost immediately with bigotry, falsehoods, and anti-trans misinformation. He began with what can sound, to an inattentive listener, like a concession. Quote, "I genuinely think there's people that feel like they are in the wrong biological sex," Rogan said. But Rogan did not leave the thought there. Almost at once, he pivoted to the old insinuation that some trans women are merely perverts looking for access to women's spaces.
Against in any way, shape, or form?
Who's the reporter? That's what I'm saying. Like, but what did that?
What is it? What is like?
So
I don't even want.
No matter.
It is one of the oldest and most durable myths in anti-trans politics that policies protecting transgender people in bathrooms, locker rooms, or other sex-segregated spaces function as a cover for predatory men. According to a 2025 Williams Institute at UCLA School of Law review of the research, there is no evidence that privacy and safety in restrooms changed as a result of transgender people having, by law.
Yes.
And I think a lot of guys.
Reporter said something, and Mike started talking about if we were in.
Stand up for himself. Does 4chan write this?
All the time.
Yeah.
Access to restrooms and other facilities in accordance with their gender identity. Instead, the data suggests the opposite dynamic, that transgender people themselves face heightened risk of harassment and violence in restrooms. The report found that transgender people who are forced to use bathrooms corresponding to the sex assigned to them at birth experience higher levels of harassment and denial of access. For example, about 10% of transgender men who used women's restrooms reported being denied access.
You get discriminated against in any way, shape, or form?
Who's the reporter? That's what I'm saying. Like, but what did that?
What is it? What is like?
And nearly 11% experienced verbal harassment, rates higher than when they used restrooms consistent with their gender identity. In other words, the people Rogan described as potential threats are far more likely to be the targets of hostility themselves. That's what we can say. Don't forget to support our channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. We thank you all for your support.
Still friendly. He was still cool as fuck. But this was the real.
Equal. That's a good thing.
Yes.
And I think a lot of guys.
Porter said something, and Mike started talking about if we were in